What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV.
Why are you smiling?
Back here for another live stream for you guys.
It's a sad day.
And the breaking news today is that Ange Postecoglou has been announced as new Nottingham Forest manager. Nuno been sacked last night, and today it has been signed, sealed, and delivered. So we had to come live. We had to give a bit of a welfare check to Sim and see if he's doing all right. You know, you could see not much of a smile on his face today. How are you, Sim?
I don't know why you're so happy. What's there to be happy about?
Well, what's there not to be happy about? We got Thomas Frank. We're on the train. Levy's gone. Like, things are looking good.
I knew Ange would always land on his feet. He's a great manager, a great man, someone who is a legend of the club, and he's going to do a great job at Nottingham Forest. Marinakis is a lot of things. He's a lot of bad things, but one thing he knows is he knows quality when he sees it. That's the truth.
Yeah.
He knows how good of a player Gibbs White was, so he grabs him with both hands. He got Anderson through the door when he was a bit-part player at Newcastle. He knows quality. He knows quality when he sees it.
Definitely, you know, especially as he, you know, his last two manager appointments are probably Spurs' two last worst League 4 managers since Pochettino. But
Nuno didn't do badly, did he?
Well, Forest, yeah, he done very well. I don't know why they sacked him, to be honest. But look, I think this is crazy from Marinakis, to be honest. And I really hope. Look, Ange is a Spurs legend. Don't get me wrong, but I think this is a completely wrong fit. I really do. I really hope Ange smashes it out in his first game, Arsenal away. I hope Ange goes there and does the business. But I'm sorry, I don't want him. I don't want to see him do well at Forest. I really don't. Anything that gives Marinakis a smile on his face, I just don't want to see. Like, I hate that man, Marinakis.
I wish he wasn't.
I want Ange Postecoglou to fail. I really do. And that's not because of my feelings towards Ange. That's mainly just my feelings towards Marinakis. And I'm looking at the squad that Forest have. I mean, we've had a conversation already, argued on the way up into the studio about the squad he has. But I just think it's all, like, it doesn't suit what Ange wants to do at all.
I think there's some players that do, some players that don't. I think there's a lot of the squad that can. I actually look at that squad. I think Zinchenko could be perfect for that role at left back. Murillo, I think, could work in that centre back. I think Oleina could. I think Douglas Luiz, a midfield three of Luiz, Anderson, and Gibbs White could be perfect for what Ange wants. Hudson-Odoi out on the left. Maybe even a Callum Wendo up front, you know, and Ndoi on the right. So yeah, there's probably, you're thinking, looking at the centre back and the goalkeeper, Milenkovic, Sells, those probably aren't the right fits. But I think for a lot of the squad, it could be the right fit. And I think I'm looking at this squad, I'm thinking maybe there's something there. Maybe it can work. Maybe it's just so crazy it might work.
I think there might be an initial kind of burst from the squad, new way of playing, a bit of excitement, new manager bounce. But I just think this is a car crash, absolutely waiting to happen. You talk about Zinchenko, and yeah, from the attacking phase of play, he'll be good. But going the other way, it's going to be terrible. I mean, Zinchenko can't defend at the best of times, and you keep him as an inverted player.
That's his position, inverted left back.
And he played inverted left back for Arsenal, but he got torn to shreds whenever anyone went down that side. And this time it's going to be even worse when he's got a Milenkovic that can't get back. Like,
Forest aren't expected to challenge for a title, though.
No, they're not. But what are they expected to do? They're supposed to get back into Europe, I guess. That's what their aims are this season. I don't think Ange can do that with this Forest team.
I think he can. And I think you got the Europa League there as well. I wouldn't be surprised they make another charge for a trophy.
No, they're not going to win the Europa League.
Because it's not his second season.
Well, that, and also because they're just not
second
good enough.
Season glitch.
They're not good enough. They're with the squad that they have, they need to play a defensive structure, kind of the way Nuno was playing it. I think was the perfect way to play it with the squad that they have.
I think it was a good. I think it was a good way of playing it, but I don't think. I think doing a crazy 180 3 games into the season, when not giving Ange a pre-season if you're going to make this change, is nuts, in my opinion. I agree with that. But I think but when I look at the squad and I think of the profiles they have, and I think how they'd fit playing for Ange. I think just looking at that without, you know, the lack of pre-season, the lack of getting up to speed with how Ange wants to play, how that might take a while. And, you know, he hit the ground running at Spurs because he came in early, and he had a lot of time with the players. And we had that pre-season. You could already see the stuff happening in pre-season. And then, obviously, we hit the ground running when he first came in. So it's going to be very difficult to do that at Forest. But I'm looking at the players. I'm like, I think they've got good enough players to play attacking football. I do. I don't see why not.
Attacking football, yes, but a super high line, like no chance. Like Milenkovic is going to get caught out every time. One ball over the top, they're going to be split open. The fullbacks are not going to be able to get back and defend. Like Ole Einar, like he's a good right back, but he's not an inverted fullback. You need to be extremely good on the ball. And yeah, like he can be decent on the ball, but he's not extremely good on the ball. Like Zinchenko is very good on the ball and he can do that inverted fullback role, but he won't be able to get back and defend. And there's going to be so many gaps in their defence. Like they're going to go from one of the best defensive teams in the Premier League to one of the worst.
You got to remember as well, Ange just had that experience at Tottenham now in the Premier League. In that Europa League run where we went on to win it, he was actually not playing just super. He was playing attacking football. It wasn't like super gung ho.
Yeah.
It wasn't crazy. Has he learned from his time at Tottenham? Is he gonna implement some maybe tweaks? Is he just gonna, you know, does he just not care about what worked and didn't work? I'm sure he's gonna analyse his time at Tottenham. I'm sure he's going to analyse what worked and what didn't work, and he's going to change. He hasn't just played the way he played at Tottenham throughout his whole career. He's had different ways of playing at different clubs, and now he picked this way at Tottenham. And yes, he was probably too stubborn with that way of playing at that time. Doesn't mean he's going to come into Forest and only play that way. Maybe he will have seen what happened at Tottenham and he'll adjust. Obviously, it's quite hard to do that while you're in the job, and especially under the circumstances we were playing with. Playing every 3 days, young players, 12 injuries, playing your second team. Look, we've been through all the reasons why I felt he underperformed the way he did. But I think he's a smart enough manager and a good enough manager to come into Forest. I'm not saying he's not going to play attacking football. He will. They are going to be a different team under Ange, that's for sure. But I don't know if you're going to see everything exactly the same like it was at Tottenham. I think there'll be some tweaks in there.
So maybe he won't win in his second season then.
Yeah, maybe win his first. Maybe win his first.
Oh, man. I think this is hilarious. I really do.
It is hilarious, yeah.
And I am looking forward to seeing Forest come to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium now. And I really hope, and I guarantee it, that Ange will get a good reception. And he should get a good reception. He's a Tottenham legend. He's delivered us our first trophy since 2008. And I look forward to welcoming him back. But, you know, you look at managers that we've welcomed back in the past, what are you going to get more emotional for, when the return of Pochettino or the return of I guess Pochettino wasn't really an emotional return because he came back as a Chelsea manager.
Yeah, so
it's a bit of a different thing.
I guess he's come back with Marinakis though, so there's also we can argue what's worse. Probably Chelsea still, but Marinakis, yeah, I wish he wasn't playing under that chairman. I can't stand him, and obviously the Greek connection has got him the job, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. It's fascinating. It is a fascinating appointment in terms of, first of all, how it went for Ange at Tottenham. So that kind of, I wouldn't say redemption, because obviously he won the Europa League, but proving people wrong that he isn't just this manager who plays one way or whatever, or even justifying that his methods can work in the Premier League, albeit he did finish fifth one year. So I think, for me, I don't think it's like he definitely can't, but to basically show everyone that 17th was a bit of an anomaly, essentially, in his managerial stuff. You've got Nuno leaving and being replaced by a manager who's completely different philosophy and complete 180. So how that adjusts as well, how that changes. You've got the whole Marinakis thing, where he's obviously a guy who is not shy in changing approach if he doesn't feel it's working. So if Ange does go through a really rough period, will be out in a flash, or is he going to get time to implement his system? You know, Marinakis seems like a very unpredictable guy, so you can't really know what his next move's going to be. It's fascinating from a lot of different storylines and narratives, this appointment, and just having Ange back in the Premier League, I'm sure it's going to be box office.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to his press conferences and his interviews. And how long until until they ask him about winning something in his second season. And they'll be like, look, we know you don't win anything in your first season, Ange, but is it all about the second season?
100. That's going to be his first question. 100%. It's also going to be fascinating. Does he have the same injury problems at Forest that he did at Tottenham? It's going to be very interesting. What's the narrative if Ange finishes above Frank this season? Are we saying it was a mistake to sack him? There's a lot of interesting things.
I can't see a world where he finishes above Frank this season. I just can't see it. Can you?
I would say Frank's favourite. I think they got a good squad. I said it before. I actually think they recruited really well, Forest, surprisingly. Once they kept... At the beginning of the summer, when we were talking to Wolfie and they were losing Gibbs White, they lost to Langer, I was worried for them.
Who's got a better squad?
We've got the better squad, for sure.
Who's got the better manager?
Time will tell.
No, just give the answer. Like,
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
Really, I think Frank's a better manager. I do. I think he's in a different class of managerial.
Different class?
Yeah, I think he's a different class of manager to Ange Postecoglou.
That's big words.
Yeah, I think it's true, though. I think it's true. And I think that... the thing is with Ange, right, if he does drop a bit deeper and hit teams on the counter-attack like he showed in the latter stage of the Europa League, then I think he can make a success of himself at Forest. But I don't think he's going to do that. I think maybe in the cup games he might do it against better opposition, but in the league game, in his bread and butter, I think he's going to go attacking, and I think he's going to go gung-ho.
Anyway, what I was saying about the squad is, what I was worried about Forest when the whole Gibbs White thing was happening, but they kept him, and I think they've actually recruited really well. I actually think they've got some really good signings. They've really reinforced the squad. Obviously, they do have Europe this season, so that's going to put a bit more burden on their squad, and they did fall short last season. But I look at their squad, I think in hindsight, were they recruiting for Ange? Because Zinchenko coming in, someone like Douglas Luiz coming in.
Zinchenko not even in their European squad.
Like, I do wonder whether Marinakis was recruiting with Ange in mind, maybe. Potentially. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, look, I think career to date, I think Ange has done more in the game. So I think Frank has to prove that he's better. I think there's arguments for it. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say... I'm not saying to say Frank's a bad manager. I don't think Frank would ever finish 17th with us. But if let's say you swapped careers and you put Frank in the roles that Ange was in, would Frank necessarily have won all those trophies? I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, and if you swap roles and put Ange in Brentford, would he be able to keep them up as long as they have and been as strong as they have?
Also hard to know.
So yeah, it's impossible to know either way. But I think when I just look at them, when I look at Frank and what he's been able to do in terms of building teams to beat specific games and his tactical flexibility, I just think I like that more in a manager. I think Ange was way too stubborn at times, and I think it's going to work against him. And it worked against him at Tottenham, and it will probably work against him here at Forest as well.
I like it. I like tactical flexibility, and I like what Frank is showing. Don't get me wrong, but I also like having a philosophy and playing attacking football the way when it was at its best. Anyway, we did under Ange, and I think that can also be just as effective, and I think that can work. And I think for a lot of reasons it didn't. Doesn't mean it can't though. For me, and I for me, the way Frank plays, it's not like you can just in game say, okay, we're gonna play a really fluid possession-based system for this second half, and that's how we're going to adapt. No, you have to work on that. You have to work on that constantly. That has to be something that's ingrained in you. That's what Andrew's obviously trying to do. Now, Frank's going in a different way, so the football isn't going to be as pretty. Now, it could be more effective, but obviously time will tell on that. We'll have to wait and see. We'll hopefully, I'm confident we can get better results. And obviously, we did for sure last season, but in general, I think Frank can be a success here. This isn't about, I think Ange is better, so that means I think Frank's going to flop. I think Frank's going to do a good job at Tottenham. I really like what I'm seeing so far, and I liked him at Brentford as well. But I also like Ange. I like the football he plays, and I think, I said it before, I think if he would have stayed, I think he could have done a lot better than he did last season in the league. And I think if he could have fixed a few things, it could have been better. Now he wasn't given that opportunity. And we'll see how he does at Forest. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Yes, Forest are second team now, or are they the first team now?
First team. I'm seeing a lot of people saying they want me go to Forest on loan.
Yeah, Forest on loan. Yeah, he's only got a contract.
I tell you what, they can have me on loan until Saturday. Well, when they playing Arsenal
on the weekend.
So for that game, they can have me on loan.
But he's been given a contract till 2027, so that's a 2-year contract.
Yeah, short term.
Yeah, so Marinakis clearly bought into I always win something in my second season and then sack him at the end of it. Well, this time he doesn't need to sack him because his contract will run out.
But look, it's going to be very fascinating to see, because what if he debunks a lot of the narratives this season? Because a lot of things have been thrown his way last season, which we'll never know what would have happened if he would have stayed, whether those things would have changed or those things would have stayed the same. Would we always have those injuries? Was it his fault, or was it just what happened during the season? The changes he made in that Europa League run tactically, was that something he was going to implement, or is that just something that would go back if once the season starts and we're going to be having the same results like we were in the Premier League? Obviously, we'll never know. And
well, we'll see now if he's learned from it or not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be absolutely fascinating. I think he's got a good squad there. I really do. Yes, it's not perfect for him. I don't think it's completely not, but I think Milenkovic is a worry for sure. I think apart from him, though, I look at the squad. I'm like, I don't see why they couldn't play good attacking football.
I think a lot of those players be so easy to be got at down the flanks.
Maybe
so easy to be got at down the flanks.
But they can score more goals.
Yeah, they can score more goals, but they'll concede a hell of a lot more. A hell of a lot more. Like, they're literally going from the best defensive team in the league to could be one of the worst, literally. That's how much I worry for them with how much of a mismatch it is for the system that we've seen in play and the personnel that he's got.
You say that, mate. Defensively, when we had our first choice backline, we had a good defensive record.
Yeah, we had Van der Ven and Romero.
Yeah.
Who are good suits for the system. They've got Milenkovic, who's awful fit for the system. They've got Zinchenko, who's going to leave a gaping hole down that left-hand side for them. So I think they've got terrible fits there for the set. I
think Zinchenko's a perfect fit for them, what they want to do.
He's not. He's a good fit for them going forward, but going backwards, he's a terrible fit.
I think he's a good fit. You need
someone that can juggle both. You can't just have one aspect of the game and just completely not think about the other aspect. Zinchenko is a terrible defender.
I think when you're judging him for a title race, he is. I think if you're going for Europa League, I don't think he's that bad.
I think he's going to leave a gaping hole out there, and I think teams will target it.
Look, I don't think he's the best defender. I don't think he's a great defender. I don't think he's what you're saying he is, like he's just this awful player. I don't agree with that. I think he's okay, and I think he's a pretty decent inverted left-back, which is his role, and Ange will get him playing that role. We've got to remember, in his first season at Arsenal, he was great. And I know it was a while ago, and obviously they've improved, right? They've improved their standards, and have gone on to now, when his first season at Arsenal, they were just, I think, playing top four.
Into a liability every time he was playing.
Yeah, because when you're challenging for the title, the margins are very thin. But when they were going for Europa League or whatever, Champions League, he was good. He was really good fit for them, and he wasn't seen. In fact, he was seen as an unbelievable signing at the time when he first came. Yes, he started getting targeted because when you're going for a title and you're playing at that high level, you've got to look for a chink in their armour, and he was definitely the one in their backline. When you got Saliba, Gabriel, and whatever, he was the one where you're looking at, okay, we can get that side. But I'm just saying, when I don't think he's this terrible player that is just like a massive liability. Like, I think he's a decent player. No. I don't think he's a great player, but I think he's decent.
I just think, do you not think he's just going to leave a gaping hole down that side?
Look, at times he will, but not. I don't think it's going to be constant. I don't know, maybe. We'll see how Ange plays, but I think he knows how to play that role. He's done it before, inverted left back. That's been his role. So I don't think it's like a case of Ange trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Yeah. Like, that is his position, inverted left back.
Yeah, I guess it's the system that needs tweaking, not the player then, because I just don't think like playing two inverted fullbacks is going to work.
He might not. He didn't really do that when in the Europa League run. He was kind of just one.
But like 95% of the other times he did.
Okay, but that was near the end. So that was like the latest we've seen from him.
Yeah, and he's mentioned it before, Ange, the need to change it up in cup competitions. But his bread and butter is the Premier League, and he did change it up on the odd occasion, but it was very rare.
Okay, but he saw the position we finished, so I think he'll know that then some things need changing probably. And he has done that before in his career, as I said. This formation is not just something he's had throughout his whole career. He's some places he's played different formations.
What do you think he does for Forest this season? Where do you think they finish?
I think them finishing, him coming in at this stage, I think him not having a pre-season is pretty significant, because I think him having the time with the players was pretty important going into the season. So I don't know if he's going to hit the ground running like he did with Tottenham. I see him struggling for a bit. But I reckon ninth, eighth. No, maybe not too dissimilar to what I predicted them anyway. I think I predicted them ninth. I think that they'll probably just fall short of Europe. I'd probably say eighth or ninth. But I also think they got a very good chance in Europa League of going far and going all the way there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get to like at least the semi-finals of the Europa, and then maybe eighth or ninth in the league.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think they finish bottom half. I think somewhere between like 10th and 13th, around that kind of ballpark figure. I just think it's nuts from Marinakis to do what he's done. Like, just completely, like, it's fine to do it like pre-season and stuff when a manager has time to implement his ideas, but to do it now, like a few games, just at the end of the international break, like, what are you doing?
That is
like,
I agree.
what are you doing?
I don't
like, literally, they've trained all pre-season, all of last season, a certain brand of football that was showing them a bit of success. Their best period in the Premier League since we can remember. And now they've got Ange Postecoglou, flipped at 180, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand what Marinakis has done here, and I'm here for the ride, man. I'm going to be sitting back and enjoying this one.
Marinakis just seems like he can make these kind of decisions just on a whim. He seems like when he makes a decision, he makes it with conviction. He's like, all right, we're changing to Ange, and we're going 180, and we're going expansive football. Not only are we going expansive, we're going the most expansive guy on the market. That's Ange Postecoglou, and it's going to be fascinating how they adjust to it and what the players think of it, because they've been very used to playing a certain way, and I don't know if the players like Nuno or not, but they've been very used to it. It's going to be interesting how the Forest fans think of it, because are they going to be, peddling a lot of the narratives Tottenham fans were when things started to go wrong? It's going to be, look, I think the whole thing is fascinating. The whole thing is fascinating.
Is it fascinating?
Fascinating.
I think. I think someone like, you mentioned last night in the group, Jose Mourinho, I think he would have been a much better fit for what Forest have been trying to do. But look, a Forest fan who has been slandering Ange for the past 2 seasons is now going to come on and say his piece. He goes by the name of Wolfie from Forest Fan TV. Let's bring him on. Wolfie?
Boys,
Wolfie,
how are
Wolfie.
How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, mate. I'm over the initial shock. So, yeah, now that I've been able to, piece myself back together, I just remember that we always win, as Marinakis said when MGW signed the contract. So, yeah, we stopped you getting Gibbs White. We've now gone and taken your most successful manager in the last 40 years.
Oh, is that the narrative you're going for?
Yeah, so, things are on the up, man. But, yeah,
I heard some texts were exchanged last night, and, you were asked, who's next for Forest? And you're like, not Ange.
Not Ange.
That was your only response. Not even a prediction, just not Ange. That was your only response.
I honestly didn't know. Look, the whole Marinakis Ange, they've been friends for a long time. They spent summers together even when Cooper was in charge and what have you. So there was always going to be that narrative. There was always the link to Marco Silva as well, who worked at Ange for Marinakis at Olympiacos. So I think those two would have been the serious 2 contenders. Marinakis has wanted to progress to a more attacking, more possession-based team. You could argue
it's Mr. Marinakis, Wolfie. It's Mr. Marinakis.
Oh, we're on first. So you lot, it's Marinakis. But I think he's gone from one extreme to the other, so to speak. It's funny to see that we've had your ex-manager in Nuno. Now we're going for your other ex-manager in Ange. Yeah, unfortunately, our clubs seem to be too tied together at the moment. But
It's all right.
You never know. Your next manager could be Ryan Mason. Who knows?
Could be Conte.
Is he still at Spurs? Has he gone yet?
Mason, he's managing West Brom now.
Is he gone? Bloody hell, you finally got rid of him.
Just tell me, Wolfie, what is the thinking with starting the season with Nuno? 3 games in. I know Nuno did that press conference, and a lot of people said after that he was a dead man walking, albeit he did manage the game on that weekend. But there was a lot of rumours over the summer rumbling about discontent with him and Marinakis. Obviously, they had that whole incident at the back in the last season on the pitch. Some people say it was nothing to do with lack of relationship, whatever. What is your thinking with starting the season with Nuno and then doing this 3 games into the season and not giving Ange a pre-season?
It's self-inflicted from Nuno's point of view, in my opinion. There was no appetite whatsoever for anyone at Forest, Marinakis or Edu or whoever, to want to get rid of Nuno to move on. Everyone was very pleased with the season Forest had last year. They felt we were going in a good direction. Yes, the transfer window was slow because we had the whole thing with Crystal Palace over Conference and Europa League. So it was at the back end where Forest started to do their business. Nuno first spoke, I think it was on Sky Sports, about a week or so before the Palace announcement, when he said, we're not ready, we haven't got the players, we need more players, etc. Now, what I got told earlier on is that Nuno wanted 2 squads. One for the Conference League if we were going to be in the Conference League, and one for the Premier League. He wanted to do it that way. When it got announced that Forest got Europa, he was like, okay, we don't need that many players. He wanted to go back because he prefers a small squad, as you boys will know. That's how he operates. It all then came to a head around one certain player in Adama Traore. Believe it or not,
a lot of weird hill to die
I believe it, because he did try to do the same at Tottenham. He said Tottenham should be spending 50 million at him. He said 50 million. They wanted 50 million.
Him or under Conte that we were going to get Adama?
I think both, but I think Nuno, especially that summer, Wolves wanted 50 million, but Nuno's like, get him, we need him. And I think Paratici was like, I don't know.
Tore us apart early in the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it came to. And Edu basically said, what? Him? Like, really? So, look, what I got told was Edu said, I'll have a look at him for you. He came back to Nuno and said, not happening, they're not interested. And then I heard that Nuno got word to Adama, who in turn said, no one's come to me, I'd happily join Forest. Nuno lost his rag at that, had a kick off with Edu to the point where the likes of Marinakis and other seniors had to get involved. That was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. But everything kind of seemed to have calmed itself down until that presser where he decided to pull the pin out of the grenade. He manufactured his exit for me. No manager is going to walk. They want their payoff. He just signed a new contract. I think it was about June time, just gone. So he's probably gone for a healthy sum. And yeah, I just think this is all on Nuno in terms of manufacturing it. His ego got hurt because the relationship with him and Marinakis was fine. What he didn't like was there was a layer inserted in between in Edu, and he didn't have that direct line of reporting or communication with Marinakis. So he's ended up throwing his toys out the pram. It's a shame because no one was calling for his head. He'd done a fantastic job. But this is football. How many managers between us 3 have we kind of outlived, so to speak, in our clubs? And how many more will we see? This is football.
Too many. But Wolfie, back on Ange Postecoglou. We've spoken a lot about Ange over the past year here on the channel. You've said, too easy to play against. Teams know how to set up against Ange. Team know how to find success against Ange. Too open on the flanks. How do you feel he's going to get on at Forest, like on the back of all the comments that you've made over the past year?
Well, the difference now is he is the current European manager. You know what I'm saying? He's the holder of that title with the prestige that he has. And it just so happens we are in that same competition that he's an expert at winning in. So, look, joking aside, I don't think we see anything different for Arsenal. I don't think he'll have enough time. The players are still away on international duty. They get back Thursday. If he's lucky, he gets a Friday training session and with the early kickoff on Saturday. I think it can work. I think he's going to be box office.
You weren't saying that last night. You were literally 12 hours ago.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right?
Wolfie, have you got those Havanas on, man? What flip-flops are you wearing today?
No, I just got my Marinakis t-shirt on, man. Gibbs White, on and on. But no, it was definitely shocking to hear because I think it's too extreme of a style change to go from Nuno to him. You almost think like a Marco Silva would have been a step in that direction, and then you could go on to Ange. But I can see the smile behind your faces as I'm saying these things, and I'm convincing myself of this. I saw signs of change with Ange, especially in the latter stages of the Europa League, where you did play a more orthodox line. You were able to kind of soak up an attacking team. There was a bit more structure. You had more than 2 players in your half. You had a couple of midfielders. So I think that we'll have to wait and see. I'm always open to whenever a manager comes in, give him time. I think the only manager I'd ever be instantly manager out would be if Southgate rocked up or an idiot like that. So I'm happy to give him the time, but he is coming under a cloud where most of the Forest fans are really happy with what Nuno did. He's going to have to win them over. Easy way to win it over, go and get 3 points. I mean, he'll win you lot back over and us if he does that at the Emirates, you know. So it's a big game to jump into. But then he does have 2 semi-easy games in Burnley, and I think we got Sunderland as the next 2. So it's gonna be a roller coaster in box office, boys. I can't wait for his presser. I'll be honest with you.
100%. At Spurs, obviously, the fans demand a certain way of playing when it comes to. We like to see attacking football. We like to see our teams go for it. So there was obviously a clamour for a lot of fans, you know, for Ange Postecoglou, even at his lowest, just because they understood what he's trying to do. But at Forest. You know, is there an excitement about him implementing a more expansive attacking style of play? You're not bothered about any of that, as you just want results? Like, what is the thought process amongst fans when it comes to thinking about how he's going to be?
He wasn't bothered 24 hours ago, but now he's absolutely buzzing for it.
Well, Forest traditionally have always been a counter-attacking team, even under Clough, even under Frank Clark. You know, we've never been like a must-get 70% possession-based team. However, for me, under Cooper and under Nuno, it got too defensive and it got boring. You could, like with Cooper, I turned Cooper out because he was taking us down. His style of football was shocking. With Nuno, I could accept it because the results were coming in. So it's one of those ones. If the results are there, screw how you got there. But Nuno had an identity and he was organised. I personally do like to see attacking possession-based football. I think most football fans do. No one's going to tune into a game to watch a team low block versus another team that's going to pass it around the back. So from an entertainment perspective, I want to see the entertainment, but not at the cost of the results. And I don't know how it goes, boys. It's just all I know is I got too much content to do right now, and it's your boy Sim, your boy is going to keep me busy. You miss him? Do you miss him?
Do I miss Ange? Part of me does, yeah. I mean, look, I've moved on from him, thankfully, and I like Frank.
I think he downgraded, mate.
You think we've downgraded?
Massively upgraded.
I think tactically, I'd like to think we've upgraded. I think he's a much better tactical in-game manager, but look, sometimes that's not the be-all and end-all. I love Ange. I've always said that, and I did want him to stay. And time will tell whether moving him on was a mistake or not. Right now, I think the signs are good for Frank. He's had a good start to life at Tottenham, and I like what I'm seeing at the moment. But I think...
Did you like the Bournemouth game?
Didn't like the Bournemouth game. And also, a lot of the questions people have on Ange will be answered at Forest about these injuries.
Yeah.
Is he going to continue to have these massive injury problems like he did at Tottenham? Has he made tweaks to what his style of play? Is he going to keep playing the same way, or has those tweaks that he implemented in the Europa League run and some other games? Is he going to implement that at Forest, or is he going to revert back? You know, has he learned from his time in the Premier League what happened during that time and some of the results he was getting? So a lot of Tottenham fans obviously wanted him out for a lot of those reasons, and a lot of them, like me, were like, well, you know, could these things change? We'll get our answer now at Forest, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. What are your expectations now? What were they before Nuno got sacked, and have they changed? in terms of
Nothing's
where you're
changed for
finishing.
me.
No. Yeah.
6th to 8th in the league, win the Europa League, then go get my 3rd star next year.
Win. You say he has to win it. Is that the expectation?
Well, you asked me mine. That's what I would like.
Do you think he has to win it?
I think like the biggest challenges in the Europa for me, I'll probably say Villa, and they haven't looked that good in their start. Now it's early days, I get that, but I really like what we've done with our squad, with the depth we've got. I was worried about depth at the start of the summer, but we've got pretty much 2 in every position, 2 that should be competing to fight for those positions. I look at the Europa draw. We got a couple of tough ones. Real Betis is going to be tough. Porto is going to be tough. But outside of that, we got pretty winnable games. So I can see Forest going at the very least deep. My personal expectations is I want to win the Europa League and maintain roughly what we did last season in the Premier League. Is that realistic? I still think yes. A lot of people are like, how are you going to finish 6th or 7th? Well, I haven't seen the teams that finish below us doing a lot better. You lot will argue we'll wait and see on that one. Man U are still stinking the house out, and the other teams, I just don't think they're quite there with their squad. I think our squad is better than all those other teams outside of yourselves and United's that were underneath us. So objectively speaking, Forest at the very worst should finish about 9th, maybe top 10. But we definitely need to have a good go at this Europa League, and I fancy us to win it.
Well, how's your squad fit for Ange Ball, do you think?
I think it will suit him better because it removes the politics. Because we've brought in Douglas Luiz, who is a cracking player. I know he didn't have a great stint at Juventus, but there was like issues off the field that were surrounding that. And because that was an Edu signing, Nuno hasn't used him in the 2 games he's been available. So I instantly expect to see someone like Douglas Luiz coming in and ideally playing in the 8. I think a lot of people misprofile him as a 6. Anderson has been phenomenal. I could see a partnership looking really good between those 2. I'd drop Gibbs White. If you want him in January, give me a shout.
Wow, drop him for who? McAtee?
I would go to a 4-3-3 personally. But that's not Ange's. What is Ange's formation? It looked like a...
But who are you playing in the middle? Louise, Anderson, and who?
I'd go Sangare, like just for the extra steal. So I'd play
he likes to
Sangare
have a 10.
6.
He likes to have a 10 in there, though.
Yeah, so he will play Gibbs White. This is me kind of giving my opinion. But McAtee, again, I think is going to be very good for Forest. And then you got Backwell, who I'm really excited about. He's a proper playing winger, good dribbler, gets goals as well. And then you got Ndoye, who's scoring goals, Hudson-Odoi, and then Callum Owendo. I want to see him. He looks very good. And Chris Wood, I think, still will be the number 9 because he's still scoring the goals. So there's plenty of depth at Forest. Can Ange get that tune right, that starting blend on the 11? I think that's his first challenge. Who is the starting 11? Or does he just kind of pick up in that 4-2-3-1 that Nuno was playing? So it'll be interesting to see. But I think there's more chance that those players that were classed as Edu signings will get a fair crack at the whip.
Yeah, I think he's got a hard task on his hands now in terms of how quickly he tries to switch up the formation and switch up the system. And I really hope for everyone's sake that wants to see Arsenal lose this weekend that he just chills out a little bit and sticks with that kind of defensive counter-attacking team, because that's the way you're going to beat Arsenal this weekend. But what I want to know actually is, what did your brother say to you when the news came out? Because I know your brother was very much Ange out. So what's he been saying to you?
He tried to call me a few times. I ignored him. I got some WhatsApp voice notes from him with a lot of laughter down the phone line. But how to use so I've now muted and blocked him. So I can't actually tell you the civil conversation. We are still yet to have that conversation. It's amazing. My brother's a lazy bastard. If he's not got an early meeting, he'll be asleep. It's amazing that I don't know how he knew at 9:15 or whatever the time was, but he was awake. He was awake and ready to, go to war. So, yeah, no, I'm probably going to have that conversation at some point this afternoon. But he was most definitely Ange out. And the voice notes, I've deleted them now.
You look like you're looking forward to that conversation, Wolfie.
Not really.
All the Ange slander you've given him over the past 2 years, and now you're going to be defending him.
I said you should have sacked him. I said you should have sacked him. He's your most successful manager in 40 years, and this is how you treat that royalty.
17th in the Europa League, you taking it? We asked you this question.
You last time.
You already said yes.
Yes, I will take it, because then I'll go get my 3rd star next year. It's all part of the master plan.
Oh God, this is
where are you lot finishing? Are you more optimistic on your position since we last spoke?
I think I think, in my opinion, 5th. I think Spurs can finish 5th this season.
5th.
Yeah.
You're going to jump from 17th to 5th. Impressive.
Yeah. Well, didn't you do that nearly?
Well, we nearly jumped to 3rd until we bottled it.
Yeah, so you're 17th, right? You're 17th to 7th.
Yeah, but we have ambitious owners. I know you lot are all giddy because Levy's gone. Owners. And my brother's telling me the Arabs are coming in. You know, they're going to chuck the money around or what have you. But I don't know. I don't think much has changed. I don't think much has changed or will change. Spurs will always be Spursy, boys. Let's be real.
Yeah, Spurs will always be Spursy. And we finished below Nottingham Forest once in how many years?
It doesn't matter.
That's
what we're going to do the history thing.
You're going back to the wilderness after this season, back to the forest.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. This will be an interesting season. I'm sure we'll have a lot more conversations as it progresses.
I'll tell you what, Wolfie. Me personally, you know, I wasn't Ange's #1 backer last season, but he is a Spurs legend, and I do want to see him do well. However, I just don't want to see him do well for Forest. that's the honest truth of it. That's the honest truth. I really do want to see him do well, but not for Forest. I really hope.
Thanks to me.
I really hope. No, it's not even you. It's Marinakis, mate. It's all Mr. Marinakis.
I never thought we would have beef with Forest, but we do.
Oh, I'm telling you, but I had to get it printed on the shirt. Can you see? There's Marinakis and Gibbs White doing.
But how does that compute? So Marinakis always wins, but Ange only wins in his 2nd season. So those two don't quite mix.
Well, imagine this. Imagine Ange now goes and wins in his 1st season and 2nd season. This is the thing. Spurs fans who have been mocking me and sending me messages today. Don't let Ange go and win in his 1st season and show up Spurs. Nuno did a better job at Forest than he did at Spurs.
It's true. Ange never said he doesn't win in his 1st season. He just said he always wins in his 2nd.
Exactly. That's the key line there, boys. So it's going to be. When have we got you? I'm just trying to have a look.
We got you in December. December at Forest, yeah.
At the City ground, yeah. So
when did you get that shirt?
Huh?
When did you get that shirt?
Oh, it's on my merch store, mate. I'll send you one.
Was that before the West Ham game? Yeah.
No, it's after.
After.
How could he lose 3-0 to West Ham, man?
Shameless. Shameless.
Well, let's see what happens on Saturday, because I'm sure even Ben, you're going to be backing me.
I will 100% be backing you on Sunday.
Thank you. All right, we found common ground.
As soon as that game's over, though, it's over between us.
It's
over. You get Ange's 1st game, and that's it.
Yeah. and the return against Arsenal.
And the return. There you go. Fantastic.
But big up, Wolfie. Good luck for the season. Don't think you're going to need it because.
Good luck for the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm doing the world tour right now, so I remember who I'm on with next. But
I'm surprised you're not going back in time with all the backtracking you're going to have to be doing in these next 24 hours.
A lot of clips have started to emerge about certain things I've said about a certain manager, and I'm like, when did I say that?
Me and my big mouth. That's what you've been saying to yourself.
Exactly. Listen, boys, have a great stream. You not watching, make sure you've hit the like button for the boys. The effort they put in is ridiculous, and yeah, we'll catch up soon, boys.
Big up, Wolfie.
Exactly.
Looking forward.
If you want to see any Ange reactions weekly, go over to Forest Fan TV, and I'm sure you can have Sim on loan for the year.
I've had so many Spurs fans subscribe today saying here for the meltdown. Can't wait to watch it.
Ange Postecoglou's good for business. Wolfie.
Yeah, get ready for your Aussie invasion. Get ready for that. There's going to be a lot of Aussies coming to you. I can tell you that.
Look, are you not entertained? That's all I can say.
It's who you are, mate.
It's who you are, mate.
See you
All right,
later,
boys.
Wolfie.
Have a good
Thanks for
stream.
coming on, mate.
No worries. I'll see you soon.
Bye. Oh God, he's not ready, man.
He's not ready for the whirlwind.
He is not ready. And yeah, I could tell he's not confident, man. he's trying to put on a brave face, but he's not confident at all.
When Wolfie's confident, he says things with conviction.
Yeah.
Now he's like, I think it can work. Yeah, okay, do you, Wolfie?
I've always wanted attacking football.
Yeah. I told you shouldn't have sacked him. I told you. I love him. I love Wolfie. A lot of people saying he's Ange's doppelganger.
He is. He looks exactly like Ange. It's unbelievable. Now, what are we looking at next?
What are we looking at? I mean, that is what happened yesterday in France's under-21 game, I can see.
This goal was one hell of a goal, by the way. Matisse Tel. Who was it against? Serbia under-21.
Serbia under-21s.
One hell of a goal from Matisse Tel. And I know
Not even a touch. Oh,
he scored a second goal as well in the game.
He did.
And he also had an effort from the other side of the pitch with his other foot that nearly went in as well. I mean, he put on one hell of a performance for France.
And
yesterday.
Remind me, correct me if I'm wrong as well, the last time he played for under-21s, he did something similar.
Yeah, he smashes it out for the under-21s. He's their captain as well, I think.
He played up front yesterday.
Yeah.
Josh King was in the WhatsApp saying he has the most similar qualities to Son that we have in the squad.
Well, in terms of?
That ability to finish on both feet, quick shots, those angles he gets from outside the box.
Yeah. We haven't seen it in a Spurs shirt.
Haven't seen it in a Spurs shirt yet. He's still 20.
We've seen it for the under-21s, yeah.
And for Bayern. I've seen him score. I've seen him. If you look at his goal catalogue for Bayern, there's some special strikes in there as well.
Fair.
Outside the box. He can do it. He can do it. I think
it's all about doing it. Like it's all very well and good saying he can do it. He needs to go and do it.
All right, but he's 20 years old.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's not write him off.
We've seen other players go and smash at under 21 level before and not really reach the heights which you expect them to reach. Eddie Nketiah being one of them. You know, Eddie Nketiah was England's top ever goal scorer at under 21 level.
Yeah, but look at some of the finishes here from Tel. Those are quite incredible.
I really hope that he can turn it around, and I really hope that and I believe in some of his qualities, don't get me wrong.
I'm saying the quality is there.
The quality is definitely there, but it's all about realising that quality. And is he going to get the chance to realise that quality? I don't know. I'm on the fence with it a bit.
I think he will. I think in a weird way, being left out of the Champions League squad, I'm not saying it helps, but I'm just saying come the weekends now, he's going to be the fresher guy. And if, let's say Doncaster starts, he has a really good game, then all of a sudden we have a Champions League game, he's not picked. Then all of a sudden he's the fresher one going to the weekend. He gets that start potentially.
We've just got two players ahead of him in that position.
Yeah, at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment.
At the moment, that can change very quickly. And, I know Johnson scores, but, we know what he's like. Odebear.
I actually think he offers more from just general gameplay than Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, I think that.
Is the one that puts it in the back of the net. Tel, he just needs to calm down a little bit. I feel like when he gets on the pitch, he's just like trying so hard to do stuff. Like literally just running around like a headless chicken at times when he's on the pitch for Spurs. I just feel like he just needs to, channel it in a better way.
I think when I look at some of the forwards that Frank has improved, I think Tel has got just as much, if not more, talent than a lot of them that he's gotten playing to a certain level when it comes to that ability to get them scoring goals, get them in goal-scoring positions, and really adjusting their play and improving these players. I look at someone like Sade. I really think Tel's got more quality than Sade. Like, I think he's got a lot to work with here. And I understand it's disappointing for Tel and gutting to be left out. And that probably tells you where, where his mind's at, where Frank's mind's at in terms of his place in the squad right now. But I think that can change very quickly. Football changes game to game. It changes so quickly. He comes on, scores the last minute winner, and all of a sudden he's starting every Premier League game. It can happen. It can happen very quickly. He goes on you're going to have a purple patch. All of a sudden, he has a purple patch leading into January, and we're all sitting here probably making videos saying, how do we get Tel when he has to be in, scoring goals? Like, it changes very quickly.
Yeah, but at this moment, you're just talking about ifs and buts.
Of course, but I'm just...
Do it.
I understand that, but I'm saying I'm basing it on what I'm seeing from his quality. I understand it's just under 21s, but I've seen enough from him to suggest this guy can be a very, very good player for us.
Not in a Spurs shirt, you haven't.
I've seen even things in the Spurs shirt.
Very rare, like maybe a little flash here and there. But
yeah, but he's young. He's 20.
I know he's young. I know he's 20. But in my opinion, Odebear is also young and 20. And yes, I don't think Odebear's been totally good enough as of yet. But I've seen a lot more from Odebear in a Spurs shirt than I've seen from Matisse Tell. And I'm not saying Matisse isn't going to make it. I'm not saying I don't like Matisse. I like the qualities that Matisse has in a player, and I think he can be a good player. But I feel like Spurs have been looking for a left winger. We've already got 2 players above him. He's been left out the squad. He's got a big task on his hands.
He does, but I don't think it's like insurmountable. I really don't. I think he can snatch that spot. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised by come like November time. He's our left winger.
I really hope so. What do you think? Come the summertime, he's our left winger.
Come November time.
November time, he's our left winger. Is that your prediction?
And he'll be starting for us come November in the Premier League.
What, like week in, week out?
Regularly, yeah. Look, we got a big squad. I don't think anyone. I think a lot of players are going. Apart from someone like Simons, I think a lot of players are going to be chopping and changing because we've got Champions League.
Well, if that is the case, we're going to have seen a dramatic change in him in the next couple of months, like a dramatic change. So
well, not necessarily, because
I think necessarily.
Not necessarily because Odebear and Johnson are not exactly. I know Johnson's scoring, but they're not exactly playing in terms of quality-wise, where it's like they're playing so well that Tell's not going to get a look in. You know what I mean?
Well, I think Odebear had a fairly strong pre-season. He looks bright every time he comes on. Brendan Johnson, 2 goals in 3 games. So if them 2 carry on that trajectory and Brendan Johnson keeps scoring goals, how's Tell going to get in there?
Because I'm saying right now they're not actually, as in just performance-wise, they're not exactly waying so amazingly that Tell won't get a chance.
Shown a lot more than Tell so far.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't say Odebear's shown a lot more. I'm sure. Yeah, I agree with you. He's shown more, but I don't think it's been that much more, to be honest. I just think there'll be chances there for him. Plus, because he's not in Champions League, I think he will get more chances in the Premier League. In my opinion,
he's definitely got to start that Doncaster game. That's for sure. And he has to have a very strong performance in that Doncaster game. He needs to grab every single opportunity he has now.
Of course. And
for him to get back-to-back games in the Premier League starts, he needs to perform much better than he ever has done. So he's got big fight for places on that left wing, and I don't think. I agree that no one's grabbed that opportunity, no one's grabbed that spot, and to say, look, this is my spot. The only one is Brendan Johnson, 18 goals last season, albeit from right wing, and 2 goals already in his first 3 games. So Brendan Johnson is that starting left winger.
But one more performance like against Bournemouth, and he's places up for grabs, isn't it?
Yeah, totally agree. But he can put in a performance like he did against Bournemouth, but still put the ball in the back of the net, and he gets that chance.
Yeah. He has to do it.
Yeah, but he has been doing it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, another Bournemouth-like performance and not scoring, and he's out. He could be out.
Yeah. But that's the thing with Brendan. He can just pop up with a goal whenever.
Yeah, and that's a great quality. I'm not saying, and I'm happy to have Brendan in the squad. I'm just saying I'm just sitting here saying I don't think Brendan's playing that well that Tell's is not going to get a look in.
Yeah, I genuinely hope nothing but the best for Matisse Tell, and I really hope he does what you say, and I really hope he is our starting left winger by November, because that will mean that he's maturing into a very good player and into the player that we all thought he could be. Like when he was at Bayern, and when there were talks of us getting him in the Kane deal, I was buzzing for that, and I was like, yes, we have to do that. This guy is going to be one of the next big things in football. It hasn't really worked out like that since he's come to Spurs, and yes, he's a young player, and yes, he's got time in his hands, and let's hope he can realise it.
And I think that's why he's potentially judged a lot harsher, because he came in with the expectation to kind of do it straight away.
Yeah.
And whether that was right or not, that was the expectation, because he came on loan and he didn't come here. When he first joined, I know Ange said he's not coming here for 6 months, but at the end of the day, that was the deal, 6 months with an option to buy in the summer. So we weren't sure whether we were going to get him permanently. So he had, for a lot of fans, it was like, okay, well, if you're coming here for 6 months, we need you to perform. And we obviously needed him to perform straight away as well, because we had a lot of injuries and we just needed the numbers. So I think from that point of view, I understand why that was the expectation. But at the end of the day, if he was, let's say this guy was an academy product at 20 years old playing like he is, I think we'd all be very excited about him. Like I know he's come for 30 million, and that comes with a certain expectation, and I understand that. And look, for some fans, that's fine. I'm just saying, in a different circumstance, we would have a 20-year-old playing like that for the under-21s, showing sometimes what he shows for us, and I think we'd all be thinking about him very differently.
I think what Matisse Tell needs to do against Doncaster, because that's probably the next game he's going to start against Doncaster, right? What he needs to do is show similar levels to what Mikey Moore did in the Europa League, like that second half against Alkmaar, when he's just demanding the ball. He's taking on his man ferociously. He's creating chances. He needs to dominate that side, like Mikey Moore did at a much younger age. And, you know, Mikey Moore in those games in the Europa League, the thing is for Matisse Tell, he's not going to have the Europa League to show these performances. We've got Champions League, albeit he's not in the Champions League squad, so it's a moot point. So he's not going to have those games to prove his worth. So he has to do it against much tougher opposition. And Doncaster is the one where he just needs to dominate that game.
But he's, he's not done it like week in, week out, but he scored goals fairly regularly when he was playing for Bayern at points. Like he's done it in Bundesliga. Like he had a decent goal scoring record there. So, like, I know Mikey did in Europa League, but it was a similar age when Tell started. In fact, he was younger, I believe, when he started scoring goals for Bayern in the Bundesliga. So I'm just saying he showed he can do it at a good level. It's just about, look, he just needs to fulfill his potential, and I think he's got all the attributes. I really do. And I know a lot of
one thing doing it for Bayern and one thing doing it for Tottenham as well.
Yeah, I guess, but still, he's still doing it in the Bundesliga. I remember him scoring against Man United in the Champions League. I remember that goal, brilliant goal he scored. Like he did it at the Champions League level. He's scored a few goals as well, and some of the goals he scored for Bayern, like unbelievable, like you wouldn't believe. And that was at 18. So, like, I just think just give it a bit more time. He's only been here 6 months. Like, let's just calm down about Tell.
What do you mean calm down? Like, everyone's hoping for the best.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying I see a lot of people shouldn't have signed him. He's rubbish. Tell's crap. All this kind of stuff. And I understand.
Yeah, but you yourself called it a mistake.
I didn't call it a mistake. I question it. I question it. Yeah. I'm not saying it's definitely a mistake. I like Tell. I wanted him to sign at the time. I didn't say it was a mistake at the time. I'm just saying right now how the fact that we've left him out of the squad is not a very good look for us when it comes to
and the fact
squad
that we've
building.
Been looking for a left winger as well.
Yeah, I mean, that implies maybe we have big doubts about him. That's for sure. I do think his future down the line is going to be striker. I just think right now he's probably not quite right for it. I think he's probably a kind of left wing, left forward right now at this stage of his career. That's probably his best position. I think maybe in a couple of years he's going to be a striker. That's what I think.
Maybe. But look, we all wish him the best. We all hope, because if he turns out well, it's going to turn out well for all of us. So
I'm not talking about wishing him the best. I'm just saying a lot of people writing him off. I'm just saying let's just not do that.
I think all you can go on is what you've seen in the Spurs shirt. Not many people are going to go back and see what he did at Bayern 3 years ago, 2 years ago. You know, you got to see him do it in a Spurs shirt. And right now, up to this moment, he hasn't done much in a Spurs shirt. And that's all people can go on.
Okay, so that's fine, and that's fine if you want to write him off based on that. I'm just saying,
no one's writing him off.
There's a lot of people are writing him off. You don't say no one.
Look, people are saying he's not good enough, but a few good performances and people, you know, football's a very fickle sport.
I agree. I'm just saying there's a lot of people writing him off, and we shouldn't.
I think it doesn't really matter if people are writing him off or not. Like, he's got to prove to people on the pitch wrong. He's got to do that.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying don't. That's my advice to people who are.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter if people are writing him off anyway, because he's the one that's got to go and do it on the pitch. And he's got a long season ahead and he's part of the squad. So
of course.
It's all up to him.
And I think he can.
Let's hope so. I really hope so. But that's at Matisse Tell. An interesting update on the Spurs website. Spurs have appointed a new chief marketing officer, Adam Gardiner. Adam makes the move across North London from Arsenal, where he spent 5 years as marketing director. Prior to Arsenal, Adam held several leadership roles at Nike over 12 years. We got one over Arsenal once again. Adam arrives in N17 a year in the year to lead the development and the execution of the club's brand, marketing and content strategies to further deepen engagement with our fans. Adam said, it's an incredibly exciting time for the club. Tottenham has a rich history and strong values, and there's a huge opportunity ahead. I'm honoured to be appointed and look forward to working with the talented team to make Spurs supporters proud. And Vinay says, I'm delighted that Adam will be joining us as Chief Marketing Officer. This role is critical to our plans and strengthen our connection with our supporters, and we look forward to Adam joining our executive team.
All right, here, Adam. We can engage with you. We've had a strained relationship, let's fair to say, since Levy was in charge, and for one reason or another, us and the club haven't been on the best of terms. But maybe this is a new dawn. Maybe we can strengthen our relationship bonds. We both want what's just best for the club. Let's start engaging.
Yeah.
Let's get on to Adam. Let's get on to Adam Gardner. Let's engage. We're the fans. We've got a direct line to the fans, Adam. Let's engage. Come on.
It is weird though, isn't it? Like, it's just weird that Spurs are actually like trying to engage with fans. Like, I've just never seen this before in my whole Spurs supporting life. Like that interview that Vinay did yesterday. Mm-hmm. How strange was that?
Never seen anything like that.
That was the strangest thing. Like Spurs actually trying to like tell people what's going on.
Like interface, like to your face, like not behind closed doors or cloak and dagger things happening behind the scenes, like just keeping fans informed and not treating us like we're idiots. I mean, it's nice to see.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It can only be a
so
good thing.
Adam Gardner's on gardening leave from Arsenal. Gardening leave to Tottenham.
Yeah. He didn't say he's joining us now. He'll join us in due course.
So it could be gardening leave.
Yeah, it probably is, to be fair. But another one coming over from North London. Vinay is building a team of ex-Gooners.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this.
What is going on?
Gooner spies all over the place.
Oh, God.
Is this their plan? Infiltrate us from the inside?
Infiltrate within.
If they can rip us apart from the inside, they don't need to beat us. Is that their plan?
Yeah, but I think, look, good steps. It's exciting time to be Tottenham.
We know that Tottenham have had a massive PR problem. Marketing. I don't know if does he have PR? Is he doing PR?
Well, he's marketing, so yeah.
So I guess I should put into that remit. We have had horrible PR for a while around the club and what we do, and the engagement with the fans has been terrible. As I've said, we don't have much. We don't have any relationship with the club. Not that we need to. I'm just saying that. When we were doing Super League protests and stuff like that, obviously the club didn't like that at all. But I would like to have, be on better terms with the club, and maybe this could help that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see about that. We'll see. But I feel like the way Levy was doing all that stuff was so outdated. And he just never moved forward with the times in that aspect. And it seems as though like Vinay is just trying bring us into the new generation, which is, been a long time coming.
It was funny. What was the last thing Levy did was get a fan banned for life for a tweet.
Yeah. Do you reckon
that's just classic Levy? Maybe. We'll see. I don't have to ask him. But, yeah, look, I think Levy as well was very... I know Tottenham watch everything. Though that's what... They're very aware of everything that's going on. And I feel like they're doing it in a... They haven't engaged with fans, and especially in the new era of social media and stuff, like they're just a bit behind the times, and they need to come into 2025 now. I think engage a lot more with a lot of fans, engage a lot more fans online and on social media and a lot of these platforms. I think all better if we're stronger if we're all together. I think,
yeah,
and I think they kind of they don't like all this. Not us specifically, but a lot of They distance themselves from a lot of the creators and a lot of the fans. Like they want to very much control everything. We know Levy was very much a micromanager, a bit of a control. I guess control freak for want of a better term. He wanted control over everything, all the narratives and everything. Like I just think it's time to move on from that and try to engage with fans more where they are. I think.
Yeah, 100%, and I'm sure. Vinay will be looking to go in that direction. I think there'll be a lot more opportunities for them to start engaging with fans and just becoming a bit more of a friendlier face from the outside. It's just been so like corporate, you know what I mean? Just been way too corporate for a football club. Where you look at other clubs, look at Liverpool, for example. Like Liverpool are a massive club, biggest club in England, or definitely up there with Manchester United, and they've like proper engage with their fans. Like that is like the kind of barometer you need to look at, where you look at their big channels, Redmen TV. They regularly had interviews with like Klopp and players, and not even just the fan channels, but they regularly do a lot in terms of trying to make the fans and the club close together.
Yeah, and at Spurs, it's always kind of felt like, oh, we're just going to be in the boardroom making all our money, and who cares about these people and legacy fans? We don't need legacy fans. We just want tourist fans, all this kind of stuff. Let's not engage with them whatsoever. Let's once in a while put a Squid Game thing, like interaction
That
outside
nobody
the stadium that nobody cares about. Like, yes, there's been some initiatives recently that have been great, like the flags and tifos. But even then, like, who was it who put out a statement saying they just couldn't work with the club anymore because of lack of...
That was before then, but yeah.
Like, they did put out statements before saying they stopped working with the club because they wasn't getting anywhere.
That was all before VNI, though.
I'm saying, yeah, but that happened. Like, that should all... You know, hopefully, obviously, as you say, that's all changing. And it doesn't take much to just build some sort of connection with the fans and try and make them feel like they're involved and make them feel part of the club, because we are the club. You know, if they turned out every week to no fans in the stands, then the footballs that we saw during lockdown, football's just a different product. Like, no one cares about it.
Yeah.
It's such an uninteresting product when no fans are there. Fans is what make the sport what it is and how special it is. The limbs, the scenes, and goals come in, all of that kind of stuff. That is what football's about. So I think Spurs have neglected that for far too long. And I think it doesn't take, as I say, it doesn't take much for Spurs to just make the fans feel they're like they belong here and like they're part of the club, and that's very important.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. In terms of VNI, though, I'm really sure how to feel about it, because you know a lot needs to be done and said. Forget that aspect of it, but he's essentially taken Levy's job now. VNI, like how do we feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, because if you're talking about the main gripes about Levy, a lot of it's negotiations, all these kind of things. I don't know VNI. I don't know what VNI is going to be like when it comes to that. I mean, it's just, I don't know what he was like at Arsenal. Was he negotiating when he was at Arsenal? I don't know.
I thought he was mainly like a marketing guy at Arsenal. I don't know if he was like head honcho though. Maybe he was for like a little bit, but I don't know. I know he did a big job in terms of, you know, bridging that gap for the fans and the club, and he did a great job at that. But I don't know what else good he actually did there.
I mean, what can we judge, depending on what we wanted Levy to improve on and what we want? Do we think VNI can improve on those things, and what we basing on how we believe that? It's hard to really answer any of those questions. Obviously, the one thing we can answer is, what do we think Levy was doing wrong? And those are things we've observed over many years. How he ran the club, the lack of ability to push the team forward, the lack of concentration on the sporting side, not having it as a priority, not being a football man, not really knowing much about football and making footballing decisions with that lack of knowledge, only really having knowledge on the business side and stuff like that. Those are all things that we think Levy could have improved on and wasn't good at. Do we think VNI can? I've got the feeling VNI is more of a football person than Levy is, so that's a positive. But I don't know whether in negotiating, is he going to be as much of a hard negotiator as Levy? Is he going to also pull the tricks Levy was? I'd probably like to think in terms of, how Levy would have an agreement and go back to the table and piss a lot of people off. Hopefully VNI can foster better relationships. But I mean, a part of me does feel like when you're negotiating, you don't want to be a good negotiator. You do want to be a tough negotiator. That's a positive that you're tough, but you don't want to be. But you also want to get the deal done, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
So we don't want to be fleeced. Like, we don't want to be like Man United, where we come in from Harry Maguire and they're lesser at 80 million, and then we're like no, and they're like, okay, well, I guess it's the end of the window, so we have to pay 80 million for him now, and then be like that, because that's the opposite end of the spectrum.
You need to do things in a smart way.
You have to do things in a smart way, but we'll see how he negotiates. I don't know.
Someone mentioned in the comments, I think Mean Football, about Vinay was the one that wanted Pepe at Arsenal. I think at the time, was it Unai was the manager at the time?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he wanted Wilfred Zaha. And then the Vinay and I can't remember who else was involved, wanted Pepe. And they ended up going for Pepe, and he obviously was a car crash.
That's not great, is it?
But look, that's just one. Everyone can get one transfer wrong, but it's always going to be highlighted when it's that much amount of money.
I mean, under Unai, there was a lot of horrible transfers.
And I think he might have been the one overseeing all that at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the full story. Does he have a say in transfers, who they go for or not? Is it a team?
I think he did at that time, but obviously there was a team around him as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it was like a boardroom. Maybe he was on the Pepe side and Unai was on the Zaha side, but I doubt it was like, okay, Vinay wants Pepe, we're going for Pepe. I doubt that was the case. I'm sure it was like a voting system on the board. He was just probably on the Pepe side.
Yeah.
And whatever, if that probably reflects poorly on him, doesn't mean we're going to be that's going to be our transfer business. I don't know.
Yeah. And another weird aspect of everything is like the Lewis family. It's just so strange, isn't it? Suddenly this Lewis family are like so open and present and there, and like no one's ever seen them for 24 years. Like, and suddenly like in that interview, how many times did he refer to like the Lewis family?
Yeah, I mean, it seems as though they want to right now be seen to be making big changes, which is not what their time at Tottenham has been like. I know Joe Lewis has obviously had to step aside a few years ago, so maybe the Lewis children want to go in a different direction in terms of being a lot more present, a lot more visible. Is that their decision, or is it just...
Can we stop calling them the Lewis children, though?
Vivian
in their
and
60s.
I know, it's true. They are. When you say the Lewis children, it makes them think like they're very young and they're like really they're going to take us onto a new era. When at the end of the day they're not exactly young, but maybe they want to change those things genuinely, and maybe that's what they're trying to do. Or is it a case of they ousted Levy and they want to get the fans on side for whatever's coming next, and to stop any kind of ENIC out talks, they're giving it all the talk and the PR, and they're coming forward saying, Levy's gone, but we're doing this, and we want sporting achievements and that kind of stuff. And is that why they're kind of talking right now a lot of publicly? Or, well, they're talking via proxies, I guess, because they're talking via Vina. We actually haven't heard directly from them, but I don't know why. You have to. I don't know. It's hard to say exactly why that's the case.
Yeah. What's your gut telling you? Like, what is their intention? Is their intention to do as they say and back this club with money, take us, onto good sporting achievements and much better on the sporting merit level? Or is their intention just to sell up?
I think my gut's telling me they want to sell.
Yeah, me too.
Look, everyone.
Can there be a world where their intentions is both?
Look, I think everyone wants both. Of course, whether your intentions set up or not doesn't mean they don't want to win things. I'm sure they do. Everyone does. It just helps the club. It helps the profile. It helps get money in. So of course you want to try and do things to be successful. But whether they're going to push the boat out any more than we were, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure Levy did. It wasn't a priority, but I'm sure he did want to win things.
Yeah,
everyone does. So, them saying that's not necessarily a lie, but them saying it's going to be a priority.
Them taking the position saying basically it's going to be a priority, and that's why they sacked Levy.
I don't know about that.
Like, did they sack Levy because of the sporting merits, or did they sack Levy because he was an obstacle to a sale?
Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know. I just feel like they sacked Levy because he was an obstacle for a sale. That's how I feel. Mm-hmm. But look, time will tell. Time will tell. And and I think a true barometer or a true kind of knowing where they're at is the next couple of transfer windows. That's when we're going to really know.
I don't know what the full story is, but I'm pretty confident that what they're saying is not the full story. Yeah. That's all I'm pretty confident in saying. Like, I don't think Levy was just ousted because they want better sporting achievement. I don't think that's the full story. Whether it's to Whether it's because he was an obstacle for a sale or whether it's because there's some other reason I don't know about. That's happened behind the scenes. There's something else going on. I don't know. I find it very, very hard to believe they ousted him because we want better sporting achievement and that's the full story, end of, full stop. I just don't believe that.
It's got to be he was an obstacle for a sale. Like, I can't think of anything else.
I don't know,
like,
but
'cause he was making them so much money.
There's a lot of reasons it could be. I don't know off the top of my head, but there's a lot of ulterior motives that could be behind the scenes about reasons why they maybe wanted to get rid of him. I don't know what it is for sure. I mean, the most likely one is what you're saying, but I don't really know.
Time will tell. Time will tell. And the next couple of transfer windows are going to be massive in terms of knowing what their true intentions are. We're going to finish off on a couple of super chats. And Charlie Vale, member for 22 months, says, fancy dress bet. What was that on? Something to do with Ange. I don't know what he's talking about.
He said Sims said that he'll finish above, not above, he'll finish, well, you said he'll finish somewhere. You said
Above
he'd do well with
Spurs.
Forest.
You what?
You said that he would do well with Forest and Ben said he wouldn't do well, but I forgot.
Oh, sorry. So they want us to do a fancy dress bet.
Yeah.
He's not typing that to say don't do a fancy dress bet.
No, because I will say I guess Ben was asking me. Ben said he couldn't see a world where he finishes above Spurs.
Yeah.
It wasn't about above Spurs.
But I don't necessarily think he will.
The certain position.
Oh, you said bottom half. I said top half.
Yeah, you said like 8th or 9th, and I said like 10th or 13th.
I'm happy to do one. If you finish top half, you wear a fancy dress. If you finishes bottom half, you wear fancy dress. You want to do that?
8th to 9th, and I say 10th to 13th, yeah?
Well, you get 4 positions.
All right, 10th to 11th.
Bottom half and top half. Make it simple.
All right, fine.
Yeah, you want to do it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I'm saying he's finishing top half. You're saying
Yeah.
bottom half.
Yeah.
Done.
Sweet.
Shaking on it. There you go. Fancy dress bet, people.
Michael Hellman says, Ange's Europa League Scudetto incoming. Best of luck to him, except when he plays us, 100%. And every other game he doesn't play Arsenal in.
Exactly.
Malware says, Sims a top lad, no doubt, but don't be surprised when he's on Wolfie's channel in full Forest
for
drip,
God's sake.
breaking down Ange's tactics. Big up, guys.
I'll wear an Aussie shirt. I'm not going to be wearing the Forest shirt.
A red shirt, oh, makes me sick.
I said Aussie shirt. They don't wear red.
No, I was just saying on the Forest shirt.
Oh.
Michael Hellman says, Season 3 character resurrection was not on my bingo card. Frank is our man, and we'll win trophies under Thomas Frank. Choo choo. Absolutely.
He's our man.
Andrew Din says, Season 3 is on, mate. Just the production moved from Tottenham to Forest. And where is that Wolfie fella? Let's bring him on. Well,
You've got your wish.
Anyup Narayan says, Ange to Forest. This is our revenge for what Forest did to us in the transfer window. Nottingham deforestation coming soon. Absolutely. Joe Talks Footy says, have you done the August tier player ratings? Yeah, of course we have.
Come on, you're late to the game, mate. You're late to the game.
And Cam THFC says, Ange and Forest to end the same as Poch Chelsea.
Could very well. Well, I mean, if he finishes 6th.
So if Ange doesn't finish the season, is that bet still valid?
If Ange doesn't finish the season, I guess no.
Why? Because I'll be in the bottom half.
Oh, are you saying depends where he is when they're sacked?
No, I'm saying if Ange is not the manager last day of the season, is the bet still valid?
No, because it's where Ange is going to finish. I guess it's where he is when they're sacked, which will probably be bottom half if he's sacked.
Jory with the members chat, and he's a member for 54 months, the Joracle, big up. And he says, Ange will finally compete what he wasn't able to at Spurs. Relegation, insane ownership with an insane management, should be entertaining, big up, boys.
Yeah, I think it is a crazy decision. It is a crazy decision to do what they've done, that's for sure. I agree with that. I think doing it mid-season is nuts. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bit of an opposite to what happened at Tottenham, where he actually has a bad start and then it starts to get better, rather than what happened at Tottenham.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds for Ange Postecoglou. But I think we can all agree that we want him to absolutely smash it out in his first game. I think that's for sure. But yeah, that is all from us today. I want to thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all another time. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
Come on, you Spurs.